Hey guys, today I'm doing a holiday inspired makeup look. I know it's been a long time since I've posted a video, like a couple weeks, but you would not believe how busy December has been. At my school, our year is divided into sets of 9 weeks and we have 4 of them. And so usually the second 9 weeks ends like the week that we get back from Christmas break, but this year it ended before we left for Christmas break. And so we had to get all of our grades in and any makeup work, everything was just chaotic, and so I haven't been able to post any videos. I've also been traveling a lot, but over Christmas break I'm going to film as much as I can. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out in a couple of days, but hopefully that won't stop me from making videos. We'll see. But I am back, and this time with a makeup video. It's been a while since I made a makeup video, and today I'm going to be using the James Charles palette. I bought it a couple months ago whenever it came out. I just haven't had the time to make a tutorial with it, and I actually filmed one yesterday, and I just didn't like how it came out. I just wasn't happy with it. The lighting was weird. And so in a couple days, I'll film another one and post that one. So there are more tutorials coming up with this palette. I know a couple of you were asking. I won't ramble on anymore though. This is what I did to achieve this makeup look. Alright, so to get started, I already moisturized my face and put on a lip balm. And I can't stress this enough, your skin prep before your makeup is just as important as your makeup. Whatever you're putting under your makeup is going to decide how it lasts throughout the day. And it's going to decide if your skin gets patchy or oily. It's very, very important. So no matter the skin type that you have, be sure to moisturize first. I always start with my eyes first, and that's what I'm going to do today. That way, if you have any fallout from your eyeshadow, and we probably will, you can just wipe it away and it doesn't take off all of your foundation. I do this instead of priming with concealer because concealer always dries out my eyes, and I find that this mixture of the Paint Pot and the Morphe Eye Primer doesn't, but it still gives it the effect of covering all of like my veins and things like that. And I'm just going to do that with my hands. Okay, so like warning throughout this video, I have a couple mirrors, but I'm kind of using the viewfinder as a mirror too, so that's what I'm looking at if I'm looking this way. With the Paint Pot, I'm just going to do the same thing. I know a lot of people apply it with a brush, but that just doesn't work for me. It's just way easier for me to just swirl it onto my finger and just tap it on. And you might not be able to tell on the camera, but putting this on just took away all of the veins, any discoloration I have in my eyelids, and that's going to make our eyeshadows pop later. They're going to last longer, and it's just going to be prettier and easier to put on. Oh, and the color of the Paint Pot that I use is Painterly. Okay, next I'm going to do my eyebrows, and that's just like an everlasting struggle for me. I switch up between a couple different products, and lately I've been liking to use powder on my brows. It just is easier, and I think it makes it a little fuller. Because we're doing a full coverage and more bold eye look today, I definitely want my brows to measure up to that, so I'm also going to fill them in with a brow pencil. And brows are something that's really personal. It's how you do them, and it changes from person to person, and it changes for me from day to day, so you really just have to find what works for you. So I'm just going to go in with this Anastasia brow brush and into actually a Morphe eyeshadow that just matches my eyebrows. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX brow pencil in the color Taupe, it's the micro brow, and just create little hair strokes. After that, I'm going to go in with the NYX Precision brow pencil, which is a little bit chubbier. And I'm going to go in with a darker color and create more hair strokes on the outside, kind of just define the edge of my brow, because in pictures it always disappears. So I find using a darker brow pencil to do that kind of makes it stay a little bit better. So I filled in my brows and I set them with the Essence Make Me Brow. Making my brows the same shape is still kind of a struggle. Still learning how to do that because they're just completely different shapes. And they always say, you know, your brows aren't supposed to be twins, they're sisters. Well, mine are more like second cousins. So if you have any tips for that, drop them down below because I need them. For eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using mostly the Morphe and James palette. I'm going to be using mostly the Morphe and James Charles palette as well as the Morphe 350 palette. So with that being said, I'm going to dip into this nude shade in my Morphe 501 brush. I'm just going to use that to set my eye primer and just prepare it for eyeshadow. I'm using this color out of the 350 palette. This color is going to be blended up all the way almost to your eyebrow but not touching your eyebrow, and this is just going to serve as our transition shade. It's going to make every other color we put on after easier to blend. And to do this, I'm just making small circular motions into the crease. And whenever you're blending eyeshadows, another great thing about doing your eye makeup before your face makeup, You can blend as far as you want outside of your eye, and then later you're just going to clean it up with concealer or foundation. Next, I'm going to dip into this shade from the James Charles palette. They all have shade names, but I don't know where that paper is. And this is an It Effortless Crease Brush. I'm going to go closer towards the crease and not blend up as much. And this is just going to start defining our crease. I'm keeping this super close to the crease and then just lightly flicking upwards. Next, with a Morphe M139 brush, I'm going to go in with this darker brown shade in the James Charles palette and start to define my outer V. If you don't know what your outer V is, that's just the little V that your eye makes right here from here to here. So I'm just taking that color and just defining my outer V with it, but we're still going to be smoking it up into the crease. With the bigger side of a Morphe M156 brush, I'm going to dip into this dark bronzy gold shade and pack it onto the lid. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe M433 brush into this mocha chocolate shade, and I kind of just do that in little stippling motions. I just got like a new loose eyeshadow pigment powder from my Ipsy bag. It's the Steve Laurent, I'm just gonna hold it up. The Steve Laurent loose powder in Antique Olive. And that kind of matches the eyeshadow that we have going on right now. I feel like glitter in the holidays, especially like in makeup looks, just like go together. With all of these eyeshadows that I'm using today, they're all very common colors, so if you have an eyeshadow that's similar to it, it doesn't have to be the same eyeshadow. You can still get the same look using different eyeshadows. Before we do this, I'm just going to take any kind of setting mist. I'm using the Hangover 3-in-1 just because it's what I had next to me. You could use any setting mist or a water, it doesn't really matter, but this is going to give the pigment like an extra oomph, and it's just going to make it a little bit more metallic. Next, I'm going to take the black shade in the James Charles palette and then maybe a couple other dark brown shades and just start to smoke out my lash line. To do this, I'm just taking a small pencil brush. This is the Morphe M149 brush. I'm just smudging it where I'm about to put eyeliner. I'm not going to go further than halfway through my eye. Now I'm just going to apply eyeliner. I'm not going to do anything special for that, just a straight line. And to do that, I'm going to use the Revlon Skinny Color Stay eyeliner. It's just always what's easiest for me. Okay, at this point you could pop on lashes. I'm not going to be using lashes today because I was thinking about it, and I wouldn't normally wear lashes on Christmas Eve whenever my family's together, and so I didn't want to do them for this look. I've noticed though that a lot of makeup looks great on Instagram or YouTube because they have these big bold lashes on, and that's always going to make someone look just prettier. That's just how it is. And so I think sometimes we forget, like, oh, her makeup looks so good, but she might have eyelashes on, and that really just makes a difference. And so for this tutorial, I didn't want to put eyelashes on because it's just not practical unless you're someone that wears eyelashes every day. So not gonna wear eyelashes in this one, but if you want to, now would be the time to pop them on. So now it's time to move on to face makeup, and I'm just gonna wipe away all of the eyeshadow fallout that we've had just to clean it up. For primer, I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Hangover Primer. It's just a good moisturizing go-to. For foundation, I'm just going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It's my go-to. It's what I use all the time. But I am going to do something a little bit different than what I usually do. I'm taking the Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer. I'm just putting like one pump into the foundation and then mixing it together. This is going to make your foundation way more radiant and glowy. Of course, you don't have to use the Armani one. You can use any kind of liquid highlight. But I've been doing this a lot lately, and I love the way that it looks. For concealer, I'm going to take the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, also in the color Vanilla, and just highlight my under eye. I know in the video that I made reviewing this concealer, I put a lot on, but that's because whenever I take my concealer, I pull it all the way down to my mouth, so this amount of concealer is going here, 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 and here, and so I swear it's not as much as it looks. With some of the leftover foundation that I have, I'm just going to take it on a little small detail brush and carve out the top of my brows just to make sure they're clean. To set my face, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier translucent powder on the same sponge that I've been using. And just tap it under my under eyes and anywhere else that I put the concealer. Because I have dry skin, I don't like to leave it for too long, so I'll wait like 30 seconds and then take a fluffy brush and just dust it all away. Whenever I'm dusting it all away though, I like to dust it towards the areas that I didn't put the powder on originally, so I didn't put powder down here. So I'll just wipe it down. That way it still kind of sets, but it doesn't kick up. Next, I'm going to take my Morphe M527 brush and the Hoola Benefit bronzer and just bronze up my face. Whenever I'm doing this, I'm just bronzing up my forehead, my temples, and then my cheekbones. Just making the 3. And then because I'm not the best at matching my foundation to my neck, as you might see, I always bronze up my neck too, just so it kind of makes it a little bit more seamless. It's important not to get bronzing mixed up with contouring, because bronzing is just bringing warmth and life back to your face. Contouring is more sculpting it. Bronzing sculpts your face a little bit, but it's just not the sole purpose. I'm also going to take a little bit and just tap it off and dust it on my hand, and then go on the sides of my nose. Because this is a full coverage look, I am going to be doing a little bit of contouring with this small brush. I don't even know where it's from. It's just like a little blush brush. And this is my sad Anastasia contour kit. I've used it all up. I'm just going to go into like the last contour shade I have left. Very, very lightly define my cheekbones. I'm also going to take that on the top of my forehead, under my jaw. And then I am going to pinch the brush a little bit and just barely get my nose. Because I'm going to be wearing a berry lipstick, I'm going to use a berry blush. And this is one of the Makeup Forever blushes. I made it into my own little kit. And they're pigmented, like really pigmented. So you don't need a lot, you just need to tap it if you're using this blush and like wipe it off on your hand and then go in, because you will look like a clown if you're not careful. So to finish off the eye look, I'm going to go in with the same shades that I use on the top of my eye and start to do those steps on the bottom of my eye. And so I'm going to go in with this shade and start to smoke out my lower lash line, and then use these 2 shades to define it. And then I'm going to go in with that gold pigment and start to put it towards the inner corner of my eye. Finally, for my face makeup, I'm going to use the Amrezy highlighter from Anastasia and just highlight my cheekbones, the tip of my nose, my upper lip, then a little bit on my forehead. And then I'm going to take my pinky finger and just lightly dab a little bit into my inner corners. I'm just going to skip over lip liner today because I just haven't found a lip liner that matches this color, for one. And then also lately, whenever I use Kylie Jenner lipsticks, I feel like the lip liner stops it from staying as long. And you know you're going to be eating a lot of food on Christmas, so we're going to need it to stay. This is the Kylie Jenner lipstick in Holly Berry. I know I got this lipstick last year from the Christmas set. It's definitely dark, it's definitely kind of vampy, and that's why we wanted to keep the eye look kind of neutral and just light. And so I'm using the Hikari, I don't know how to pronounce that, but the gloss in Merlot. And then just to make it a little bit shinier, I'm going to go in with my high gloss lip gloss from Pink. And this is just a normal clear gloss, any clear gloss would do. So whenever I use like a sticky lip gloss, I always put the high gloss over it because it kind of stops it from being so sticky and gross, because it's just uncomfortable. I just realized that I never put mascara on, and like, who does their lipstick before their mascara? Not me. But I'm just going to curl my lashes real quick. And so first of all, I'm using the Smashbox Full Exposure. You're probably wondering why I like only use samples and cheap mascaras. But that's because I can never find a mascara that I like, and I think that's because my eyelashes are so little. And so I'm like never want to buy a full mascara because I feel like I'm wasting money, because chances are I won't like it. So if you have any mascaras that you're just obsessed with and you think I would like, please leave them down below because I would love to hear it. And then I'm going to take the Essence Princess Lash and just go over them again, but you need to let them dry in between coats. And I'm also going to use this mascara to coat my bottom lashes. Okay guys, so that's how I achieved this makeup look. I hope you enjoyed it. I really like how it turned out. I think I've said this before, but I don't want this to be purely a makeup channel because I'm not really a beauty guru. I feel like I don't have those skills, but I do want to do a couple more makeup videos, so if you have any ideas or if you have ideas for non-makeup related videos, that would be great too. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.